Hey guys, welcome back. My name's Scott, and you're watching That Garage Guy. Okay, so today's mission is simple. We're going to take all those Harbor Freight fixtures, and we're going to organize them. So, how we're going to do that is, I'm just going to use whatever I have scrap-wise. So all those little pieces I keep under the table, we're going to take those, we're going to make something that's going to be no bigger than the side of the fixture table or the side of my plate table. But in the meantime, we're going to go with a wall mount. I just like to lay it out, measure the space I need, find what I need, and go from there. So hang with me. We'll get it figured out. Maybe I'll give you some ideas, and we'll go and we'll have a good time doing it. Thanks, guys. I've done some measurements, and I've come up with kind of a max dimension. So if I'm mounting it on the wall, I like to kind of just aesthetically be the same width as the whiteboard. So we got 23 inches on that one. So if I shrink that down to 21, that should be good. Now, as far as depth goes, or height, let's cap that at 18, because that's about the room I got here. So let's see how that lays out. Okay, guys, we got our board laid out. I got some construction paper over it, and it's 18 inches, which is going to be our height. And our width that we just measured for is going to be 21. So we want to lay that out as efficiently as possible. So I'm just going to grab my square at 21. And I got to be honest with you, I made this top, this old workbench topper, probably 15 years ago. So if it's not square, don't kill me. So yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay. So this will be the top. Right, left, bottom. So we don't exactly know if this is the dimensions going to be. We're just going to lay out our stuff, take measurements from there. So we got a lot of stuff to kind of lay out. So what I was thinking was, with these guys, I'm gonna throw all this stuff over here. These B blocks. Let's get a height measurement. I forget how many there are. I think there's 12, maybe more. I forget, because I got 2 tables. So I got a bunch. I can't see me needing this many. I don't do a lot of complex round tubing setups, but hey, never know. I don't want to not have them at the ready if I need them. Yeah. All right. So there's 16 of them. So an overall height of about 10 inches. All right. So we got these. My thought with those is I have a piece of 5/16 rod. What I'll do is I'll put that through it, kind of bring it off the table a little bit, or, vertical, or it's mounted into something kind of rigid. I don't think we'll get a lot of deflection. So I think if it's just kind of like that, it'd be all right. I think. If not, we'll have to reinvestigate. We try something different, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be enough, because these are aluminum. I think they're very light. I think if those were stacked up vertically and held off the table, it should be plenty. We can do that with, a piece of flat stock or whatever. I'll just drill the 5/16 hole in it, mount it here, weld it up, at a 90, and there you go. Now, these guys, stop blocks. There's no through hole. I have not figured out what the benefit to having a threaded hole in that is, because you can't really screw it to the table. The screw would interfere. They don't give you a short enough screw to lock it down, and it protrudes through the bottom of the table. So it's really, I don't know. I'm not sure what it would do. I'm not sure why that's threaded. So my plan with that is, if you notice, there's a slight groove in that. And what I was thinking was 2 thin pieces of angle. This is 1/8 angle iron. I just kind of put them together with the right spacing. See how they hold it. And I put it together like so. So it would basically just slide down and stay in this channel, just like that. And I would just weld that to the plate. That is going to be the wall mount. And when I need one, I just slide it off. Okay. Now, someone with more experience than I do with this videoing thing would have already had magnets set up and a way to hold that to demonstrate it. But I'm new, so I didn't have that ready. So that's kind of what I'm thinking there. 8 of those. Okay. So my thought for those was, I want to lay them out like so. Now I'm thinking alternating. I don't want it to be too complicated where I've got to orient it the same way. I mean, like, have it, move them in halfway. I mean, I don't want to have to readjust the stop, the clamp portion every time. So I've got a fair amount of this 1x2 tubing. This is way too long of a piece, but just to illustrate, if that's sticking out from the table a little bit, and hanging downward, that's going to be great. I just cut that, put a little piece on top of the square tubing so it kind of acts as a catch so it won't slide off. That's going to be good. So we'll just leave 2 of those on the table for spacing, because that's all we're doing is kind of doing mock-up right now, and we can just kind of lay that out however. And now these weird guys, they are the oddest shape. They have bolts hanging out of them. I did find there's not a huge reason for that length of a bolt. So you could cut them down, or you could purchase shorter ones. I believe they're M10-125, I believe. But shorter ones work great, except for what I found out is sometimes, due to how short these are, you'll need to double them up, especially if you're trying to lock round tube in. So what I did with some success, and this might not be the best way to do it, is double it. And you can lock the top in for something round. That way you're going to put pressure against it on where it needs to be, not on the bottom, which is going to kind of make it pop up. But, so the longer bolts are good to have. But for the most part, I think I'm going to probably try to eliminate most of the long ones, but I need to keep them on hand. So once we kind of figure out how we're going to set these up, is figure out where to keep the extra bolts. Because I want it all contained, one little happy fixture family. All right. So, what I kind of came up with this one, I think it's kind of neat. I think it's going to work good. The only downside is you kind of have to alternate them between long and short until I get more short ones. I didn't check the thread before I grabbed a couple short ones, and I said, these look about right. I'm not sure if they are. So they're right. So what I'm planning on for these guys is I have a piece of 5/8 rod. So if I put these through that 5/8 rod, I have 8 of them. So I put them through the 5/8 rod. That's great. Now if I just kind of made some pegs and hung them, that wouldn't be so bad, but I got to take the whole thing down, pull one off, 2 off, and then it's, I'm kind of stuck. So what I was thinking was, I actually had this piece laid out for another project I was going to do, is I got a slightly oversized hole in this piece of round stock and another piece of 5/8 rod. So if I tee those and then I weld this to that, now we basically have a pivoting hinge. This rod is plenty strong to hold that up. If I need to, I have a longer piece of this I can weld to the table for more support. So that way when I need it, I'm gonna pull this off, leave 2 of them on there just for ease of handling. And I'm just going to leave the short ones on there. So I can kind of put these right here, pivot it, and then, gravity's going to keep them down. Maybe weld a washer or something there so that it doesn't fall into the hinge if it's at a weird angle. And then put in a piece of just flat bar with a notch cut in it. So that'll work for that. Now, I'd like to figure out something to have the extra bolts. So if I had a mill, I could just slot out something. If I wanted to take the crazy extra time and tap all those out, which there's a good number of them, because I think each one of those stop bars came with 2. I don't know why. And the ones I replaced with the short ones. So there's a bunch of these. So I think I'm going to find a really narrow piece of, just sheet metal and just kind of put 2 pieces together in a channel, kind of like that, but closer together. So it'll just kind of dangle there. They won't fall through. They won't slide off. Maybe put a stop in there. We got these guys. So if I want to crowd that, I need more room. So we can do maybe, you know, a couple faces of that, or bring it out, because this will be out. So if I do those out, and I can do that with this angle, just like so. In fact, I think that's what we'll do. We'll just do that and bring it out. So that way they'll hang there, they'll stick out no further than that. The nose stay, you know, raised up, because there's going to be four in each post. And then we'll do the same with, I have some of these shoulder bolts that work well in the fixture table because they're a 5/8 machined shoulder, and they pop right in. So they work good for more stops. So I'm going to probably do the same thing with some angle just coming out. So actually, this 21 by 18 seems to be pretty good. So let me find us a piece of 21 by 18 diamond, because there's a theme here in the garage with the diamond plate. I like the diamond plate fixtures. You know, with my body panel hanger there and paint can hanger. I got to paint all these. I'm just kind of, as I'm organizing the garage and getting stuff set up, you know, I'm building stuff. I use shaker cans from time to time, but for the most part, I use, you know, I mix up the paint. You know, use a gun. You know, I'll probably make a video when I do that and see how that's done. I just use Rust-Oleum, but I do so. I buy it in the, you know, in the regular paint can instead of the spray can, and you just got to thin it down a little bit. If you choose to, you can use hardener, but different video. We'll go over that stuff in the other video. So let me get our piece of diamond. We'll get it cut out and get it going. Okay, so I just need to try this because I found this piece. I have a big enough one to do the original dimensions we want. This one is 22 by just under 12 3/4. So you might have to sharpen the old pencil, as they say, but so far that'll work. That'll work. That'll work. I never did get the measurement of these guys. No, it doesn't matter. So we'll just stick them together. Just take an average measurement. We don't need to put the rod through it. Okay. So even spaced out well. That'll work. And then that'll work. I mean, so these will come out, and we can even do a couple facings of them coming out if we need to with a little bit extra width. So let me get some stuff cut, and we'll start tacking her together. All right. So this, I believe, is a 1.5 by 1/2. So it's got some substance, okay? And these, by the way, are the same. So as far as symmetry, this will be coming off the diamond here. The rod will be going into it. So we just need to figure out where to put, how high to put the rod. All right, so that turned out great. It's spaced right. It's right now, it's welded in, floating on there. It's not moving at all. I mean, the metal flexes, but everything is holding good. So if it'll hold like that, when it's laying horizontal, it'll definitely hold vertical. So, next step, gonna be to do the angle iron. We're gonna put this here, like so. I'm gonna put that nice and tight here, where we can slide those bump stops in there. All right, got that piece made, and how it looks pretty good. I just got to center it up, and I want to mark where these things actually stop. Okay. So that's what I did. See that angle? Little piece of 1/4, welded it together. And now I just gotta cut that. Gonna make the square marks. It's a little flimsy, you say? You're right. But remember, this is going to be welded down the seam on both sides, which is going to secure it up. And man, these things slide in nice. It's a little bit tight here, but all you gotta do is take a file of that once it's in for the final cut. I'll be right back, show you how it goes. All right, I am surprised at the quality control of this stuff. So we got, and these are steel. I mean, these are machined steel. Okay, so some slide in, some get caught. I mean, some have plenty of clearance, work like I intended. Others get caught. That's frustrating to me. I expected that with the cast parts. I did not expect this with the machine parts. So I'll have to address that, but until then, we'll keep plugging. All right, so I've got it kind of lined up. I got it squared up. Pieces move free. They won't come out. And still square. So I'm going to leave those in there just to kind of slow it down if it wants to try to warp on me. You know, it might. We're using pretty thin stuff. This is sure not something that I've got to do a complete seam weld on both sides. I mean, that would just be amazingly overkill in this point on this little, on this guy. I'm going to run a little bit more. And I'm going to call this track good. That's cool. That's going to work great. It's going to look good. I can't wait to paint it. And I think tonight, guys, I'm going to call it a day. It's been a long day of doing videos and editing and recording. I released one earlier today with the camera mount. And I think I'm going to make this one a two-parter. See how that works. So tomorrow, I'll go ahead and put the clamp rack on. We'll do the, I don't know, I don't even know what you call them, these guys here, the swing out thing that I showed you earlier. And that'll turn out pretty cool, man. So thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, please comment. I love feedback. I keep saying it. Talk to me. Tell me if there's anything you want to see. Anything you can do to, a little project. Let me know, man. I'm dying to do some stuff. I'm dying for some more feedback. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.